Hello and welcome, my torn, dirty, moldy, ready to fall apart sponges in the bottom of my sink. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. We're going to be talking about some synergies. There's a lot of towers in here that really just synergize with each other. I mean, whether you're talking about a ninja alchemist, or a dartling alchemist, or a tack shooter alchemist, or a mortar alchemist, or maybe even a wizard alchemist, or even going hero alchemist, or even going crazy and going like permaspike alchemist. There's a lot of synergies in Blue Star Defense 6. But we're going to talk about the synergies that don't involve alchemists. So let's get started. Now these are in no particular order, but I am going to order them for you guys because it's kind of fun to order things. So let's start off with number 10. This is a bit of a bombshell. Get it? You get it? Bombs? Yeah? Alright, we're talking about Azealia and the Bomb Blitz. Now the reason why these work really, really well together is actually quite odd. If you know anything about Azealia, you're going to notice that the sacrificial totem, which is usually kind of worthless, allows you to drain 10 lives from yourself, but give everybody cam detection, pierce, attack range, attack speed, and projectile speed to the nearby monkeys. That's pretty awesome. But you also drain 10 lives. Now what's weird is the Bomb Blitz allows you to get a passive bomb storm ability when lives are lost. So, instead of actually losing to a Moab or a full ceramic or something like that, we can purposefully trigger this Bomb Blitz ability if things are going really bad for us whenever we feel like it. So if we really, really want to, if we say, oh my god, there's way too many balloons coming out, I couldn't possibly handle this many Moabs right now, or I couldn't possibly handle this big chunk of balloons on round 98, well maybe what we should do is we should activate our sacrificial totem just to kill everything on the screen. Oh, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, don't forget you can get lives back by, heli pilots or going for some sort of marketplace. But, so this is a cool strategy if you really want to try to get down and get dirty with it. Number 9. This is a pretty lame one. I started off with a banger. Now we got to chill it out a little bit. This is a simple one that a lot of people probably know about. The Poplus Druid. Poplus Druids meld really well with each other. They actually give each other attack speed. Boost attack speed and pierce for other druids in the radius can stack up to 5 times on any single druid. Now this is really cool because it increases their attack speed, but also increases their pierce. And this is really helpful, particularly on other Poplus druids. So they really lose their edge when you actually get, other random druids like a lightning druid or a druid of the storm or something like that. Even though they can be multiplied upon, they don't help as much as just spamming a bunch of Poplus druids and letting them do a bunch of damage with each other. This is still a really, really helpful addition to your team, and if you do end up going for something like an Avatar of Wrath in addition to this, you can become, I don't want to say unstoppable, but this is like the core strategy to a lot of Chimp's gameplay. If you get an Avatar of Wrath, it's basically GG. This next one's pretty odd, but I find it extremely useful when you actually get to use it properly. We're talking about number 8. This is a weird one, because we're going to be combining this Super Maelstrom with something that's going to decrease its cooldown. Now, check this cooldown out. I want you guys to check this out. All right, with nothing added on here, it's going to end right around halfway from its cooldown. When we get something like a primary mentoring in combination here, when we get this guy, it's going to last a little bit longer. It's not going to last that much longer, but we get a little bit of a smidge more on this guy. But when we end up combining him with a Bloom Toning Reactor and an Energizer, now when we use our ability here, you're going to notice how much faster this cooldown is going to come back. We last almost 3/4 of our ability here, and we could just almost use this guy infinitely. I mean, it gets pretty ridiculous when you get this much cooldown reduction. And the reason why this all works is because the primary mentoring specifically decreases ability cooldowns. And this guy specifically decreases ability cooldowns by 20%. When you add those together, you become almost unstoppable. Even one Super Maelstrom by round 82, we're taking down even ridiculous amounts of Moabs and all this good stuff over here. Still, maybe not unstoppable, but it's a pretty good addition to your team, guys. It's a fun little combo to use. Coming in at number 7. I think most people know by now that the Taxon's a pretty good tower. You gotta combine him with a lot of things, though, to make him actually work. And the two main things you want to combine him with is definitely an alchemist. Alchemist is going to give him a bunch of extra damage and all and everything, you know. Alchemist is just great. All right, but we're not going to talk about the Alchemist today. We're not even going to talk about the primary mentoring today, even though that does give them nice buffs here. We're going to talk about specifically the Super Brittle or the 4th tier, because those guys in combination with each other end up working fantastic together. All right, this guy is going to cause the balloons around him to just be more damagified, and then the attack zone is going to easily kind of just melt through all these balloons. So definitely get a Super Brittle here. Next to your attack zone, it is going to become almost unstoppable. Are you a money-hungry butthole who loves hoarding money and just getting gigantic piles of it in Blues Tower Defense 6? Well, boy, do I have number 6 for you. We're talking about the Rubber to Gold. Now, the Rubber to Gold's a really, really good upgrade in its own. If you just throw Rubber to Gold in the front, it's going to make you a bunch of extra cash. But you can really capitalize on this extra cash by combining with a couple of other towers. Specifically, going for a middle path glue up to Glue Hose with stronger glue, and then if you want to, you can get some sort of ice tower or something like that to just slow the balloons down inside of the range of this guy. If you want to, you can even go crazy and get more than one of these guys and go for multiple of them. But you're going to notice that if you do this, the amount of gold balloons that you are currently going to have is going to be pretty gosh darn amazing. Alright, don't forget that you probably want to pop some balloons back here too, but you know that's kind of secondary here, just making tons of freaking money. Because look at this, man. Oh my god, look at this delicious cash. Every single balloon is turning to gold! Except for camo balloons. So maybe you should probably, like, you know, do something like that, too. And something like that. Yeah, let's give them some extra juicy deliciousness here. Pretty much every balloon is getting goldified, and richness is one step away, my friends. One step away. Did somebody order overpowered? Well, here you go. Overpowered it is. We're talking about the Top Path Carrier Flagship in combination with the Top Path Monkey Ace. And the reason why this works so gosh darn well, let's talk about it while we're fighting round 98. The reason why this works so gosh darn well is that the Carrier Flagship specifically increases the attack speed of all water-based monkeys, but also of Monkey Aces. Now, Monkey Aces aren't all that useful for attack speed. Getting extra bombs, okay, I guess. Getting extra Spectre attack, okay, I guess. Flank Fortress, okay, a lot of money, though. But a Sky Spreader is very affordable in something like Chimps or Unpoppable, and getting that extra damage or extra attack speed from our damage here is going to be quite amazing. So this is one of my go-to for sure. If you're struggle-lugging on Chimps, if you've got water, if you want a tower that just can go all over the map, this is the guy to go for. Check this out. This is round 98. These guys only cost about $100,000 combined together here. And we're going to take down round 98, I think, in our entirety here. Woo! I mean, that's tough, man. That's almost half the money that we would normally have at this point in the game, even though this is a fairly easy map. So these guys are absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend these two, man. They have great synergy. Number 4 is very awkward to look at. This is just looking so stupid, doesn't it? I don't like it. I don't like the look of it, but it's still ridiculously OP, boys. We're talking about the Ninja Squad. So if you guys don't know, the Middle Path Shinobi Ninja increases attack speed and pierce of nearby ninjas, and it's allowed to be stacked 20 times. So with druids, 5 times. Alright, build 6 druid, 7 druid, you can get a fantastic 5 stack right away. Getting a 20 stack, though, that seems pretty difficult. You gotta spam quite a few ninjas. It's very difficult. You gotta do it only on specific maps here, but if you can do this, and then you combine it with some sort of high-tier, 5th-tier ninja in the middle, like a Grandmaster Ninja, well, boy, oh boy, will you have a lot of popping power. In addition, it's probably recommended that maybe you should do some sort of other ninjas in addition to that, like maybe getting some sort of Master Bomber as well. Because the amount of speed that you're going to get off of these guys is going to be pretty ridiculous. You can just see the ridiculous amount of Moab stunnage, amount of popping power, and all this stuff, and this is without an alchemist at all. This is just by soloing with our Grandmaster Ninja here and our silly little Master Bomber. So the synergy is pretty fantastic, but it's definitely difficult to pull off. So, you know, play it by ear, guys. Play it by ear. Only do this if you really want to get to spam it. I like to call this the Death Squad, because we're actually bringing the death to them, but also we're using death against them to bring the death to them. It's pretty awesome. This is number 3, the Weirdo Prince of Darkness Squad. Now you might be saying, well, the Prince of Darkness is pretty OP, but you don't realize that the Prince of Darkness actually has a lot of weird crap going on with this guy. If you actually look at the 5th tier here, it says reanimates even more powerful balloon servants. Okay, that's pretty cool. And enhances all other necromancers. It just so happens that these are necromancers, and they can be enhanced. Cool. That's pretty awesome. This guy enhances them all, but it goes even further and even deeper than that, because you can use Azealia, specifically when she reaches level 11, to increase the attack range, but also increasing Pierce of reanimated balloons by 50%. Woo, boy. Now that doesn't just help these guys, that's going to help out even my Prince of Darkness. So, that being said, we can get a lot of extra pop power by using this gigantic death squad. This is round 81, but I just want to show you guys how awesome this is. We're going to set at round 98 as well, right after that, and as long as we keep our graveyards going, we're pretty much unstoppable. Alright, pretty much unstoppable. And Azealia's kind of nice to work with here, because if you pop balloons out of the range over here with your abilities and all that stuff, it can get pretty awesome pretty fast here. So, round 98, the toughest balloon map in the game, and we're still unstoppable. The only issue with this is obviously round 100, or any round where there's not a lot of balloons going on for a little while, like round 80, just a single balloon, or like round 97, which is just like a single balloon and nothing else. You gotta be a little bit careful with that, but other than that, these guys will kill just about everything. Number 2. Now these are probably pretty well known as well, but this is a great synergy to have. It's all about the Jungle's Bounty. Jungle's Bounty ability generates cash for each use, plus extra cash for each banana farm near the Druid. Oh, now that's pretty fancy. So we want to have as many banana farms near this Druid as possible. Now, it doesn't matter what banana farms they are. They could just be base banana farms. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 banana farms. And even with that, you can make crap tons of cash. In addition, what the new part of this ability is that you can also pop 2 ceramics per single attack, or 2 balloons per single attack. So these guys end up being very powerful as balloon poppers, and also go really well with trying to make some extra cash over here, some extra flowy deliciousness. So whenever you're ready, guys, use these abilities and use them well. They will be straight up delicious. Stall farming isn't really a thing anymore, but they're still making you so much cash, it's totally worth it. And you're going to notice there's different amount of money coming out of each one of these druids. Why is that happening? Because, well, I don't really have the max amount of farms around these guys. So what you want to do is you definitely want to get some sort of druid reach on every single one of your druids, and you definitely want to get some sort of village next to your druids over here. And if you can even afford it, go cray and get a monkey town and a monkey what's it called? Monkey city on top of this guy, and you'll make even more cash. Get all those guys combined together, and the amount of money you're going to be making is pretty redonkulous. I kind of felt like I should just show it off here. So here it is, kind of all set up here with a bunch of low-tier banana farms, just 4 druids, and I guess we got to alchemize this guy to stay alive. All right, let's do it before. $1,500, $1,200, $1,300, and $1,200. We just made like $5,000 off of these 4 abilities. That's pretty fantastic. Pretty definitely fantastic. Coming in at number 1, we're talking about the Merchant Man. And other things combo? We got to talk about Merchant Men, because you probably know about Merchant Men and their combo with the 5th tier, but you might not know about the next step up. So, what happens when you beat around, you make $220 of each Merchant Man. That doesn't really help us out very much. But if you get the Trade Empire, it generates more cash per round, increasing cash earned by up to 20 other Merchant Men by the number of Merchant Men. So when you click on a Merchant Man, now you can see that I've got it 19 times. Let's make it 20 times. Now, when we end up beating around here, we're going to make a ridiculous amount of cash. So for round 39, we make $620. Went from $220 to $620. That is ridiculous. So combining the Trade Empire with each one of these guys is obviously pretty important. But you can take it a step further. You can also combine your Merchant Men with other central markets. And if you look at each Merchant Man, you can see it's got a 20 times favored trades bonus, but it's also got a 10 times marketplace bonus, or central market bonus. And when you get all of that together, you make $840 per Buccaneer over here. And that might seem absolutely ridiculous until you realize you can actually take it one step further. If you're feeling it, you can go for the Monkey City here, and you can increase your cash another few percentage points here and make about $1,000 per Buccaneer. That's a very, very, very good return on investment. It's difficult to do, and it doesn't work on every single map, but if you could make this happen, it does really pay for itself extremely quickly. And you're going to be rolling around in money over here, guys. Trust me on that. Bonus, 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 bonus! Big boner bonus right here. We're talking about a tower that involves the alchemist. I think you guys should know about this. If you don't know about it, I said I wasn't going to talk about alchemists today, and I showed you a lot of ones that are actually really good as combos right at the very beginning of this video, but this one in particular has been overpowered since the last update. And the reason why this is a big boner bonus is because I actually believe that this will deflate very soon. I don't think they're going to keep this bonus in the game. I think they're going to nerf this guy in some way, and I don't know how. Not 100% sure, but I don't think that they like this the way that this works right now. If you don't know, the reason why this is super overpowered right now in particular is that if you build a bottom path extra range cannon, okay, makes sense. When you build a frag bombs, though, explosions throw out sharp fragments that can pop more balloons, including black balloons. So the frags themselves are not what's popping black balloons. It's actually specifically any of your cannon upgrade at all. So if you set out a bunch of blacks, it's not the frags getting popped here, it's the bomb itself doing the black explosions. Now, the reason why this ends up being pretty ridiculous is that a cluster bomb's only weakness is black balloons. Everything else is just whatever. So now we just made cluster bombs ridiculously overpowered because it can pop every type of balloon. It no longer has a true weakness. And then when you get a recursive cluster, it makes it even more ridiculous because now we can pop blacks and zebras pretty much no problem here as well. But what makes this even crazier is that when you combine this with an alchemist, he becomes almost unstoppable. You can even do crazy stuff like damage Moabs and kill Moabs with your recursive cluster. It's pretty wild because that makes no sense, and that shouldn't be in the game at all. You spam these guys, and you basically win the game. Add a Striker Jones in here, and you get something almost insane. So if you guys liked my synergetic towers, make sure you press that like button for me. I'd really, really appreciate that. I know that this was hard. This was not exactly the hardest video for me to make, but I really had to think about this for a long time to figure out what I thought were the best synergies in the game. So if you guys want to pay me back by pressing that like button, I'd really appreciate it. Of course, have a super duper delicious day.